This story is about using games to teach people things. And the thing I'll be teaching people is the business of the bees, which is how to be a profitable beekeeper. And this is one of the ways I'm demonstrating a regenerative business model, which is a business model that creates money, teaches skills, um, creates a community, and restores habitat, which in this case will be pollinator habitat. And the reason I came up with this game is because in my eco project, I have a series of steps on an attention funnel. And it starts with these observations, this video series of observations that I've made in my life. And then it goes into the Lessons from Nature podcast. And then it goes into the book, Honey is Money, which is the kids' version of these ideas. And it occurred to me, the objective of this thing was to create 10,000 beekeepers by the year 2030. And I was thinking through all the steps in between having a kids' book and having 10,000 beekeepers. And I've been in business for a long time, so I have a pretty good understanding of all the components of a business system and the amount of work it takes to teach people things. Also considering that most people are worker bees, and that means they have special skills in a particular area and don't have a holistic view of all of the processes necessary to build a comprehensive business system. So people specialize in things like marketing, or someone might be good at project management, or someone might be good at a specific thing, but not have the vision of the entire thing. And they're just a cog in a machine. And that's very common. That's a common way to go about life. So when designing a business system that covers all aspects of business, even though it's a simple business, it could be a lemonade stand. Every business has these functions in this order: marketing, to generate awareness of the concept; sales, which is explaining to another person how this concept can help them; operations, which is the doing of the work that's being traded, or the shipping of the product that's being traded; HR, which is hiring people to do specific job functions. And even if there's one person doing every job function, there's still HR, knowing what the job functions are, knowing if you're doing a good job at the job functions, ranking the job functions in terms of priority and importance and effectiveness, efficiency, all the things you would need to do. Even if you're a one-person business, there's still HR. Then there's finance. And finance is about the money, capitalization, banking, transactions, cash flow, pro formas, balance sheets. Then there's admin, which is often overlooked, but super critical in terms of reporting, keeping track of things, checking boxes, making sure things happen at certain days at certain times. And then there's special projects, which are things that happen occasionally, but are super important. And organizing projects using like a project plan of like, when does the special project start? Who is responsible for it? What are the milestones within that project? How much money is each step going to cost? Who's going to do it? When? How will you know it worked? These kinds of things. Like, how do you put stuff together in the real world? And when I was thinking about, and that's business, it doesn't matter what, that's every business is that. And so I was thinking, how would I teach kids that read Honey is Money, or read Honey is Money as kids from age, 3 or 4 and up? How could I convert them into beekeepers when they're physically strong enough to lift bee equipment, maybe at age 10 or 12? I'm guessing, because the BeeBoxes can be heavy, 40, 50 pounds. And they're a certain height, so you have to be a certain size to be able to heft them. And so there's a gap in time between like a 3 or 4 year old and maybe like a 12-year-old or 10-year-old or who knows what it's going to be that could run this business. And I was thinking, what's the best way to teach somebody these skills? And I thought about it for a second, and it's like a game, because it's just a game to me anyway. Business is a game, and it's just Monopoly in real life. So the only difference between the board game of Monopoly and having a part like buying buildings and renting them out is the color of the money. In the US, it'd be green money if it was real money. And if it's pretend money, it's whatever the colors are in Monopoly. So to me, like the idea that business is a game makes a lot of sense, because we're playing it just with different color paper. So I was thinking about this game, and since the book Honey is Money, is all the lessons and secrets of the bees as it relates to gathering energy from a habitat, and including things like teamwork, cooperation, marketing, everything is in the podcast and also in the book. I thought it'd be fun to convert those assets into a board game. And it's November 2023, and we've done the second iteration of the gameplay design of the board game. We have the basics down, and in December we'll finalize the gameplay, and in 2024 we'll be selling the board game, BeeBox, the business of the bees. And the board game covers all those functions: marketing, sales, operations, HR, finance, admin, and special projects, and teaches people about the decision making of the kinds of situations that occur in business as it relates to those areas, and the kinds of decisions that can be made to increase the chances of success. And I'll add a practical component of this about the beekeeping business. If these kids buy this bee kit, the BeeBox kit, and play this board game, and they play it well, and all they ever did every summer for 50 summers was take the honey that comes off this beehive and put it into a bank account that has matched the overall return of the overall US stock market for the past 50 years. By the time in 50 years, 50 summers of doing this, if they just took all their honey money and did this game, all the profit, and shoved it in a bank account, then they'll have over $2 million when in 50 years, because time is honey. And if nothing else, if that lesson comes through, then that would create a situation where these 10,000 kids could essentially spend all the rest of the money they ever make in their life on whatever they want. And as long as they committed to selling this honey in this way, be multimillionaires later. And it's not that the objective is to have $1 million or be worth $1 million or whatever the game is. It's to feel safe with money. And so when people feel safe, they make better decisions. So that's the BeeBox, the business of the bees board game.